Hey everybody, this is Matt from endsickness.org. Today I'm going to talk about how stress impacts mycotoxin sensitivity and how the stress in your life can make you more reactive to mold around you. I'll explain that in this video. First, let me say I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. This is based on informational and educational purposes only. So let me go back to the topic stress. How could stress make you more susceptible to mold and mycotoxins? Well, this is a very important topic because most people who are dealing with mycotoxin sensitivity have high levels of stress. Their limbic system's activated. They have thought loops. They have lots of fear. They feel threatened. They're always perceiving danger around them. And this is often due to childhood trauma. These are things that happened in the past that made them feel so unsafe and feel so uncomfortable that they carried this vibe with them, the vibration with them, and started to reverberate it in various areas of their life. Let me give an example. So when I was young, my dad left me when I was 4 years old or so. Did really not have him in my life after that point. It was a difficult thing to deal with when I was a child. And for the rest of my life, up until even in my mid-30s, I realized that I wasn't okay alone. I had to be around someone. I had to be doing something. I had to be watching TV. I had to be doing something. I wasn't okay alone in my own thoughts, in my own mind. I always had to just be distracting myself or surrounded by someone. And this colored my life, it colored my life. The past trauma of that event absolutely colored my life. And it made me look around and perceive that I was always going to be alone, that this person didn't like me, that I needed acceptance from that person, that my external validation became so important to me that it was my main priority, was being liked by others around me and being approved by others and them saying I did a good job. I lost the desire to validate myself internally. And it was because of this underlying trauma, this underlying, what had happened years and years and years ago. And the reality is this stress that I carried with me in my life affected my health. It affected my dietary decisions. It affected my relationship choices. It affected my behavioral patterns. It affected the way I reacted to things that would remind me of being alone. It started to have me start to really hold tight and depend on things that were always going to be there, people in situations, because I just couldn't be on my own, right? So this is the reality. What you see with people is that they have stressors in their life. It could be abuse, it could be neglect, it could be, whatever it is from early in life, and then it reverberates in their environment over the course of their life. And what they do is they start seeing threats everywhere. Oh, that person looks like they're out to get me. That food I'm having an issue with. That smell, that look that someone gave me. That sound, the wind, whatever it is. All these things become irritating because the person has not dealt with those underlying emotions from way back, and they're still feeling them. You've repressed them. So what happens is you see these underlying emotions everywhere you look. You see reminders of them. So with me, I would see reminders that I didn't want to be alone, that I wasn't fully okay with myself, that I needed things outside myself to feel okay with myself. I'd see reminders of my past trauma, my fears. And unless I addressed them, I was going to keep being reminded over and over again of these things. And I would react. I would have these knee-jerk reactions to things. And I would react, right? But back to the point of mycotoxins, when your body is constantly in a state of threat or perceiving danger, or believing that something's wrong, or feeling like an attack in your own mind, then you start to look at other things around you as threats as well. And your brain starts to perceive everything as a threat. And it starts to create more antibodies. Your immune system starts to become more active in the wrong way. Then you're reacting to foods. Now you're reacting to smells. Now all of a sudden the mold that was in your home wasn't a problem before. Now it's a problem because you had a severe traumatic event. Your parents died. You got left by your wife. Your kid got sick, whatever it is, it sucks the life out of you, and the stress just wipes you down. And then all of a sudden, what happens? You're looking at everything as it's a threat because your brain is overloaded. You can't handle anymore. It's too much stress. So anything in your environment could be a threat at that point. Too loud of music, like I said, too cold of a day, mycotoxins in the air, eggs, gluten, nuts, seeds, processed foods, phone calls from people, anything could be a threat when your brain is overloaded. So I want to overemphasize here, mycotoxin sensitivity isn't simply about just this genetic thing, right? It's a combination of stressors that have been put on our body over the course of our life that have accumulated to make us sensitive to mycotoxins. These are the stressors in what we're consuming, what we're inhaling, what we're thinking. These are the three main things that come together to form our immune response. And when our immune response is overactive and you're reacting to foods, you're reacting to to thoughts and feelings, you're reacting to smells in the air, all these things, you're going to be reacting to mycotoxins, you know? So if you have mycotoxin sensitivity, you got to realize you got to address the stress, got to address the past trauma, you got to address the underlying emotional triggers, you got to deal with the emotions in the moment. You cannot keep repressing them. If you do, you will more than likely remain sensitive to various things. Now, can you just get out of an environment with mycotoxins and feel better? You know, yes, of course you can. But if you don't address the underlying stress and the emotions, you often will take yourself back to a place emotionally that feels very similar to the illness, and you'll be better physically, but mentally still trapped. And then eventually you'll lead yourself back to the illness or these sensitivities because you'll cope with these emotions through behaviors that are self-sabotage behaviors, that are harmful, eating the wrong food, staying up too late, partying, you know, not taking care of yourself, not focusing on self-care, focusing on instant gratification because the pain is too strong and you don't have any other coping mechanisms for it. So I just want to cover this in the video. There is a way that stress can clearly affect your mycotoxin sensitivity. You don't want to just simply think it's all just mycotoxins. It's all because genetics. It's all because of this. You know, the reality is a lot of it has to do with limbic system dysfunction. A lot of that is based on perception of you in relation to your environment. A lot is based on perception of threat, perception of danger, these fears that you have playing in your mind that are not necessarily true. So thanks for watching, everybody. Join my page on YouTube. Go to my website, endsickness.org. I got plenty more videos, hundreds of articles on there teaching you how to heal yourself out here in nature. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you again soon.